So in relationships, you hear it a lot. People will say things like, I just want a really calm, peaceful relationship. But the fact is that isn't exactly true. So yes, we want calm, but we also want and actually need a certain level of tension. So before I dive into this, for those of you who are new here today, I'm Ketra Thompson, and I'm a certified master hypnotist and a relational recovery coach. So I help people really get to the heart of what's driving their unwanted behaviors and feelings on a subconscious level so they can finally have the love they want, the life they want, and the relationships they want. So we work on that subconscious level to really get you the momentum and traction that you want in life. If you'd like to learn more about that or how to work with me, check out that link in the description below. There is all the information you'd need there to set up a complimentary consultation call so that we can go over what you're struggling with, what's going on with you, and decide if we're a good fit to work together. And at the end of that call, at the very least, you have a lot more clarity about where you are and what your next steps should be to help you get to the life that you love. And also, if you find this content valuable, click like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I post a new video. I'm really grateful for all of my viewers and for the people who take the time to click like and take the time to even leave a comment below, because I love getting back to people and hearing what's going on in their life. So the first thing I want to talk about in this subject is when you've come out of a toxic or narcissistic relationship, it's very common to hear people say things like, I just want calm. I just want peace. I just want this ease in my relationships. And there's nothing wrong with that, because when you've been in a relationship like that, all you've had is chaos. And so the last thing you want is chaos. But once you've gotten through some of that healing, then you realize that there is a level of healthy conflict that can happen in a relationship that absolutely is necessary. And so it requires stepping away from maybe being the people pleaser that you were before, where you just agreed with everything, or even getting sucked into a combative, reactive type of dynamic that you might have been in a toxic relationship. It's not that kind of conflict that I'm talking about today, but I want to address this because I don't think that it gets talked about enough, and it's a really healthy dynamic. So first of all, I want you to imagine for a minute a relationship that never had any conflict. Your partner never spoke up when they didn't agree with you. They never pushed back, and everything was just entirely calm and peaceful all the time. That would be incredibly boring, okay? Let's just be honest. We don't want to be that bored. We also don't want to use conflict to escape from boredom either. But we need to realize that if this is happening, it's very likely that one person or both are suppressing their feelings. We're humans. We have opinions. We have feelings. We have emotion. Our emotions are what make us human. This is such an integral part of our life that when we shut it down and ignore it, it can taint every other part of our life. So we don't want to ignore our emotions. We don't want to ignore our feelings. So the reality is that there have been several studies done that actually show that we want conflict. We want some level of challenge. And so what does that mean in a healthy capacity? Taking it out of the context of the narcissistic or toxic relationship and really looking at what does it mean. So basically, we want a partner that has a backbone, right? We want someone who we can contend with. Someone isn't just going to flop over and play dead if they disagree with something. We want to be deeply connected to someone who challenges us to grow, right? Because how flat and dead is life if we aren't growing, if our partner isn't growing, if we aren't challenging each other or having deep discussions or really sharing our thoughts and feelings on things, even when the other person doesn't agree. So basically, you can do what a lot of toxic people do, is stay in that childlike mindset where you believe that the whole world revolves around you and that everyone should agree with you all the time, and that any pushback is some kind of personal attack on you. Or you can be a grown-up. You can be self-reflective. You can take the time to be curious about what your partner's thoughts and feelings are. You can process them. You can actually look at what part you might have played or where you might have actually done this thing that was bothersome to them. And then you can make an active plan to create change and shift. And when you do that, you're growing. You're growing into a better version of you, and the two of you together are sharpening each other in the relationship. Now, of course, this shouldn't be constant conflict. This should be respectful conflict. And conflict can be painful, even when it's done respectfully. But the key is getting to a place where you feel good about you, not in an arrogant way, but in a way where you're okay letting the world see who you are and what you think, and you're also open to growth. You're open to change. You're open to new ideas. And what is going on here is once you've healed the triggers that throw you into defensive mode, now you can just be authentically yourself. So what is in our subconscious mind is what's driving a lot of those triggers. So unhealed childhood wounds, traumas, neglects, belief systems, and even belief systems that have been created in adulthood that we have latched onto, and we hang on to them really tightly, and we don't have a fluidity about being curious what someone else thinks about our behavior or our belief system. So I want to give you an example of where this has really been helpful for me and where I really noticed my own growth. So I've been on a very intensive healing journey for about the last 8 years, and I have grown tremendously. So when I found myself back in the dating pool after the age of 40 this last year, it was really an eye-opener for me. But what I found was I was just able to be myself. I was able to go on these dates and just be myself. And if the person I was talking to had some strong opinion or point of view that they brought up on politics or spirituality or relationships or anything that was meaningful to me that I didn't agree with, it was easy for me to say, I don't really see it that way. I don't agree with that. I wasn't trying to be someone that I wasn't. I wasn't trying to gain their approval by just appeasing their opinion and never pushing back, right? And it did two things. First of all, it helped eliminate people that are so bolted into their belief system that they don't even have the ability to be curious about what someone else thinks or allow someone else to think differently than them. Because I'm fine with someone thinking differently than me. I'm just not fine with them expecting that I have to think and feel the way they do. So it showed those things right away, and it actually helps eliminate people. The other thing that this does is it creates authenticity. It creates connection that is real, that isn't based on playing pretend or wearing that mask or being someone that you're not. You're just being authentically you. And that's what I was doing. I was being authentically me. I had let go of those people-pleasing tendencies. I had let go of a perfectionistic mask that I thought I had to wear. I just got to be myself. And you know what? It has been the greatest thing ever. I love it. I didn't even know that this was a shift that I had really made, on a conscious level. I knew I had grown. I knew I had changed a lot, but I didn't realize just how authentic I was being in a very fluid way. And I'm grateful for it. And it was worth all the work that got me to a place that I just feel good about me. Does it mean every day is perfect? No. It doesn't, but it does mean I get to just be me with the world. I get to be honest about my thoughts and opinions. I get to be curious about other people's thoughts and opinions. And you know what? Sometimes I change my mind and I change my opinion on something because I've been able to have a healthy dialogue with someone else. And I'm okay with that too. So what I'm talking about here is in a relationship, if you don't ever speak up, if you don't speak your mind, if you don't say what's bothering you, say what you need, say your truth, you're suppressing yourself and you're not being authentic. You're not only damaging yourself, but you're damaging the relationship and you're damaging the other person because they have the opportunity to grow just as much as you do in a relationship. by both of you being honest about what's going on. And that's how you sharpen each other. That's where growth happens. It happens in relationships. It doesn't happen entirely in isolation. You can do some growth in a time of healing, but when you really put that growth to the test, it's going to happen in relationship with someone else. So I encourage you to start speaking up. Say what you think and feel. That's the only way that you're going to know if the other person respects what you're sharing and is willing to make a shift that helps you both feel better in the relationship. You're never going to know unless you say something. So the one thing that I see most people shift hugely on in their work with me, when we're doing hypnotherapy in a customized way, they're allowing themselves to reframe these old thoughts and patterns that were driving their behavior. So they're finally allowing themselves to be themselves. They're figuring out who that really is, and then they're allowing that in the world, and this makes all the difference. So of course I believe in that work. I believe that it's incredibly beneficial to invest in yourself. The investments you'll never regret are the investments you give to yourself and in yourself. So I would highly encourage you to consider what growth you need to have and what help you might need to get where you want to be. But the other thing you can start doing right now today is start sharing those thoughts and feelings, telling people, giving them your opinion. And if they say something that you vehemently disagree with, speak up, be honest. You know what? They will respect you for it, and you will respect yourself when you're honest with yourself. And that's a big deal. Being able to respect your partner is one of the biggest things on my list. I want a partner that has integrity, that I can respect, and that I believe will be honest with me. That is a big deal, above and beyond all the other things. So I encourage you to start speaking up today. Start sharing your opinion. Take a deep breath and know that other people's opinions about you are more about them, not so much about you. So if you want to get some more help on that, again, check out that link below. And until next time, I hope you curate a life by your own design, a life that you love that leads to relationships that you love.